Thanks for staying with us. So, Tuesdays we discuss health issues. So, today we're talking about fibroids. So, by age 45, about 70% of women develop at least one fibroid. Many fibroids are small and cause no symptoms, but about one half of black women are dealing with bigger fibroids. On this segment, we'll be discussing the entire issue of fibroid, its causes, symptoms, and possible prevention. Joining us to discuss this is a friend of the house, Dr. Benjamin Olowojebutu. Welcome to the show.
Thanks,
I like this, your name. Your name is very, very,
very powerful.
very strong about that name. Good to have you on the show.
Your new series is fantastic.
Thank
and
you.
I want to
Thank
thank
you
you guys for starting this. Really good, really good.
Yeah,
Thank
25,
you.
25.
You've stepped up
Yes,
media in this
exactly.
country. Well
Absolutely,
done.
absolutely.
Well done.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So, discussing the issue of fibroid, every single year we discuss fibroid, because it's a conversation we need to continue to have. You can't stop talking about it, especially because of black women, and it's quite prevalent with our race. So, for those who are just getting familiar with fibroid, let's start. What exactly is fibroid?
Okay, so fibroids are benign tumors that occur in the uterus, which means only women have uterus. You can't have it in men. So it's a benign tumor, which means it's not cancerous.
Yes.
And is located in the uterus. So if you are reproductive as a woman, there's a tendency to have fibroid. And because, it's very familiar in Africa, black people, black Americans, black Hispanics, Africans, so we are more predisposed to have those fibroids in this country.
Melanated.
Yes, but it's benign. Okay. So fibroid do not cause cancer. But in this part of the world, we are used to a lot of superstition. People say a lot of things about there's a father's father following you, or there's a mother's mother following you in your village. So they throw a stone at you, and that thing can become a fibroid. So people have lived in that quagmire of lack of knowledge for a long time. I'm glad you're talking about it now because people are getting more aware now. Because if you go to rural communities that I go to regularly, they don't even know what fibroid really is.
Still. Wow.
Yes. So there are benign tumors that occur in reproductive age. We say before it used to be above 30. Now we have seen ladies that are 22 having fibroids now because a lot of people are taking a lot of contraceptives early enough in life, which are things that are predisposed to having fibroids and somewhat. So I think it's important we have this conversation, and I'm glad we're having it today.
Yeah. Okay, so are all benign growths in the uterus fibroids, or there's just beyond being benign? Are there other properties
things? Yes,
that make
you can have a cervical polyp in the uterus, also in the cervix. That's a polyp. But you can also have a cancer, the endometrial carcinoma. You can have cervical cancer too, obviously in the uterus. But fibroid itself, uterine fibroid, is not a cancer. It's a benign tumor.
But it can become malignant, right?
No.
Okay.
You can have other symptoms like fibroid, but they are cancers.
Okay.
So you have endometrial CA. You bleed very, very heavily. You have pain having sex. You have pain when you're menstruating. You have intramenstrual bleeding. You can have the same symptom. Excuse me. That's what you have to do what we call evaluation, which means you have to do a test to be sure, okay, what is the difference between what I'm having? Is it benign or is it cancerous?
Okay.
It's important you do that.
Okay, so if it is benign, do we necessarily have to take it out?
Obviously, because fibroid is like having a baby in the tummy. That's what I tell people. Anytime you eat, you feel the fibroid. Every time you eat, every time. So a tiny fiber that is a watermelon can become as big as a basketball. I've seen a 50 kg mass of a fibroid before. I've seen 35 kg. That's bigger than a 1-year-old baby.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. So the point for me is that if you don't take it out, it affects the quality of your life. First thing is low self-esteem. You can't wear what you want to wear as a lady. You are bleeding very, very heavily. For example, somebody was preaching one day and started bleeding and wear a white dress and started bleeding just spontaneously. So it affects the quality of life. So imagine the sizes were now very big. You now rest on your ureters. Ureters are the organs that takes urine from your kidneys to your bladder. And you can pee. You have what we call obstructive uropathy. So your urine that should come to your bladder is going back to the kidney. You now have hydronephrosis. So now we have seen a lot of ladies having what we call acute renal failure. acute injury because of having fibroid and not taking them out.
As a follow-up to her question,
Yes.
the reason why people are scared, obviously, because they feel that they're going to lose, they won't be able to have children anymore.
That's
it
not
comes
true.
out with their uterus.
That's not true. So if you have a fibroid that is manageable, it's not very big, and you are still reproductive, it means you don't have a baby. Let's say you are just about maybe 40, 35. One of the major causes of subfertility or infertility in Africa is uterine fibroids. Because fibroid will take the space the baby should stay in, so you can't have a baby. So the first thing to have a baby is take out all the discussing not to have a baby. So you take out the fibroid, then you can have a baby. There are ways to have a baby now. You can have normal, you can have IVF, you can have ICSI, you can have normal copulation too. So the first thing is that you don't say because you're afraid and you leave the fibroid there. The fibroid keeps going bigger, and you might not have problems with the fibroid itself, but the symptoms of carrying the fibroid in your tummy.
Well,
So some people have what we call intestinal obstruction.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
I have a friend that had this fibroid and she took it out. It grew up. It grew again.
Yes,
It keeps growing.
Fibroid can grow. Fibroid has propensity to grow. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Something about our lifestyle. Things we need to do after getting fibroid. After doing the surgery, what do you need to do? A lot of people still go back to their normal old self. So let's take it gradually.
Okay.
So what are the symptoms of fibroid? You say you have fibroid. What makes it very, very peculiar and very, very bad and very, very symptomatic? Your menstrual flow used to be 3 days every month. It now becomes 7 days. You used to use 3 pads. Now we start using 10 pads.
Okay.
That is increase in flow called menorrhagia, heavy bleeding, it clots. That's the symptoms of fibroid. You used to wear size 12 of a shirt, and now becomes size 14, size 15. You think it's a bar or it's fufu, the tummy is going big, that can be a fibroid. You have painful, excruciating menstrual flow, dysmenorrhea. That's symptom of fibroid. When you make love to your husband, you're having a lot of pain. There's no even joy to make love because as everyone is eating, making sex, is eating on the fibroid because it's a mass. It's like the. Let me describe a fiber for you. You know the back of a coconut.
Yes.
That's how strong.
Hard it is.
Hard it is. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's how hard it is.
I thought it was.
That's how hard, like almost stony. So when people that have calcified fibroid, that is very, very hard. There's a lot of pain. You don't want to see what the woman is. That's why I say men shouldn't slap women or beat them. Sometimes the woman is having fibroid and is bleeding very heavily. Just one slap, she dies because she doesn't have an optimal blood flow in her body. And you just think because she's walking, she's okay. Just give her one slap and she just go because the blood level is very, very low. They are always anemic.
Yeah.
Because they are bleeding heavier than normal. Let's say you lose maybe 3 units of blood, three units of blood. Now you're losing like 6, 7. You are panting. You can't climb a staircase. You are panting. Those are the other symptoms that can make somebody even go die than even the major symptoms of the fibroid.
So you were going to talk about the things that predispose.
Yes.
When they continue that lifestyle, brings regrowth. That was okay.
So one of the things I like to say first is, I just from my own experiences, I realized that one of the things that I've caused this thing, in my own thinking, our parents didn't have fibroids, a lot of them, because when they had kids early.
Or they didn't find out.
Or they didn't find out. So they had kids early, and they had multiple children.
Okay.
Whenever you are pregnant, 1 year of a pregnancy, the womb is resting. There's no menstrual flow. So the estrogen hormone is not actively working on the womb, on the uterus. You have another 1 year of breastfeeding. At that time, too, the womb is still what? Resting. So that's 2 years. So 2 years of rest. So imagine if you have 9 children. That means you have what? 18 years of rest. Because of 18 years of rest, you've not stimulated the womb to grow a fibroid. What happens most of the times, because most times, ladies that are like 30, 31, 32, 33, and they start menstruating at 12. Look at the maths. 33 minus 12 is 23 years. So every month of your life, you are menstruating for 23 years. And the way the womb is created, it's like vacuum. Something must grow in the womb. So that lack of rest of the womb will stimulate the fibroid to grow. That's why now a lot of people that, a lot of people around 31, 32, 33, 34, they have a lot of fibroids because one, the womb has been let fallow for a long time.
Sorry, but that's a theory you're working
that's
on.
my own theory,
Yes.
and I've looked at it for over 15 years, and it has been, it has come out like, okay, that's what's happening.
Okay, so the reason I'm asking
Go
is
ahead.
because it's not common in white people. The womb, does it not have the same process as well?
No, so obviously because we're African.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we don't know why it's in Africa. We can't say maybe Africa is just a blessed country. Let's not say anything. But it's more in African people.
Yeah,
it's more in black people. It's more in even black Americans. That's why it's peculiar to us. So if you have it in your family, what are the predisposing factors? If it's in your family, if there's a family history of fibroid, you can have fibroid too. It's a genetic condition. Okay. If you're too obese, you can have fibroids. If you take a lot of contraceptives, there's a predisposition also to have fibroids. Those are the things that are predisposed to having fibroids. So that's why I usually advise younger ladies, the way you position, one position or two position, the way you take it, reduce taking it, because obviously the future is what you're looking at. It can affect
Okay,
you.
so you also talked about resting of the uterus, of the womb, and I'm wondering, with family planning and all the economics that we are adding today, a lot of us are resting wombs.
Yes.
Also, I just conspiracy about my own theory.
Yes, tell me your theory.
I'm afraid for certain procedures that I have had to do, especially evacuating, my uterus because of the loss of babies. And there's this procedure that they had to do because sometimes the placenta would not separate, they'll have to scrape. If, for instance, I'm just saying that they left a wound internally.
A wound internally? Oh.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
They don't want,
no, there are times, I'm telling you,
okay.
this is my
This is her theory.
that I have felt, I'm supposed to have healed. It's over a few years, but I still feel a certain pain at a particular point.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe
I've gone constantly to do the scans and check.
Nothing is there.
But I feel that pain.
Maybe activities, maybe stress can also lead to those kind of stuff. Maybe when you're eating, are you eating late? Are you doing your exercise that your body can take? Sometimes it's not the surgery, or it's not the procedure. It's aftermath of what you need to do that can also affect how you're feeling.
Okay,
But
so I
I've
have
had such internal, can it?
No problem.
I have a question here from somebody. She says that please ask if it's best to remove the uterus for older women. I guess she's saying that if you're an older woman,
if you're above 50 and stop menstruating, what do you want to do?
There's a role that they said the uterus plays in the hormones. That
Okay, so the hormones plays a role to the point of menopause.
Okay.
menopause.
When you're menopausal, your womb is like, you're already sterile. Nothing's happening there.
Is the uterus...
Until you are menopausal, you can leave your uterus because your ovaries are still working. They're producing the estrogen. What makes you feel like a woman? Your libido is high. You're getting a little wet. You're happy. You have, you can feel like a baby. That kind of stuff. Okay. But if you are menopausal, there's no point. What happens most time? Why a lot of them have this fibroid after they are menopausal? You know why? They had it when they were younger, when they were maybe almost their menopause, and they have this fantasy or this lies that these about guys tell them that it will shrink. So they're expecting it to shrink, but it doesn't shrink until now. They don't cross over the menopause. That becomes very, very big and has issues. Discomforting. They have issues going to the bathroom. They can't even poo because they are constipated because the big mass is resting on their intestine.
So they need to take it out.
They need to take it out.
Please, let's say
it's advisable for them because they're menopausal. They don't need the womb again. They can take it out.
Please, let's stay on that shrinking because that is something that is it's something that is being touted all the time. You see all sorts of ads everywhere where there are herbs and all sorts of drinks that you can take to shrink it. Please, can you help educate us on these things? Is there anything that happens?
That's a lie.
Asian medicine that helps?
Ginseng and...
Yes.
You get all those.
So let me tell you, Mariah, what happens in this part of the world, we're very, very religious. And people work on our psyche, on our psychology, on our fear. A lot of women have fear. So the fear is what people have used to make money and milk them off. So we are afraid. You don't want to do surgery. let's bring you something that will similarly look at seeing.
Can I disagree with you?
Okay.
Because, you just mentioned that at menopause, your hormones no longer work with your uterus. There's a saying where I'm from that the woman don't mature, she don't enter manhood. And they usually use it to describe women who are in menopause, who are late into their 50s and 60s. You can now sit in the council of men because you are no longer supposed to be thinking like a woman. I'm just saying that our fathers had a way. Okay. Number 2 is that I have seen an old woman, she's late now, Alaja said, her fibroid was treated and she shit them out.
Hey,
she burned
Jesus.
it like this. It came out like onion.
Did you see it?
She told me. He's late now. He came out like this.
Let me give you a scenario.
Maybe it wasn't fibroid. It was really
late,
bad
so
because
they has a name for it. I'm trying to remember.
Miriam, let me give you a story. I'll tell you this true life story. Somewhere in Songwater. There's this guy, one of these guys that gives herbal medicines and says it's strength. You know what he does? He goes to hospitals and buys fibroids, masses, and puts in a formalin.
Oh my goodness.
So he puts in a formalin and asks them to ask the woman to lie down in a suitable position. You're back. You're not seeing him.
Yeah.
So he now puts something in your vagina like an herbal cell and tells you, push. It's coming. And you're pushing, and he just brings out that small, just like that the one he has put in the formalin, and say, wow. See it, just push it out.
But when you wake up, you realize
the psyche now.
Yes,
psychologically.
So it's reducing you. You think it's
Then
reducing.
you now bring out that one.
So the husband one day now said, Madam, this your tummy is not going down. So he now followed that quietly to the place. You know that key we used to use back in those union keys that if you put the keys, you can see through the hole.
Yeah.
That was the key to the guy. So he now went with the wife and said he was looking at the key and say, let me see why he's always pushing out this fibroid. You know, said that, he saw the way they lined up all the masses on the floor. Can you imagine? So he just jumped. He said, so this is why I've been into my life, collecting my money. So a lot of them use psyche. Some people will go to a woman and say they'll match their tummy. Did you hear that?
I've heard that one.
This is a room setting.
There's one that they will use.
Elijah.
On this one, we not agree. Who setting?
I know.
They will massage you. Your uterus will
with
sit well.
wood.
Get off your legs. You'll be free. I'm
Yes, I've
telling
heard
you.
that. That one,
I'm telling you,
then
as
you
a
start
dead woman.
Yes,
Trust me if I
Dr.
tell you.
Olowojebutu, please learn from Elijah here. Learn.
I not agree.
It's not anything that medical school will
Your
teach
view
you.
if you have
There's
experienced
a question here.
Yes,
So
most
let me
massages,
ask this
agree.
question.
Okay, please.
Well, I don't know how
So
it helps
okay, so they said
fibroid.
there's a part of the womb where the fibroid is that is a bit safe, not totally safe, but it's okay for it.
Okay, so it's about the size now. So let me just quickly talk about that. Fibroids, there are 5 of them, types, depending on the location of the fibroid. So you have submucous, you have cervical fibroid, you have pinoculated fibroid, you have submucous, you have intramural fibroid. So where they are, if the fibroid is subserosa, outside the womb, and it's not very, very big, it's not a problem. You can have a baby. But as you have the baby too, it also grows. So imagine a woman having a fibroid that is about the size of watermelon.
Oh my God.
And the baby is, baby is just like granite. So no matter how the baby will grow, the size and the weight of the watermelon will crush the baby. So a lot of them I will call habitual abortion. So they get about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, they lose the baby. Are you getting me? And as they lose the baby, that fiber that is watermelon has also grown again.
Yes.
You gotta take it out.
But if it was smaller, like maybe orange or melon or lemon, yes, that one they can have a baby. So that one, but if the fiber also is inside the womb, submucous.
Doctor, there's a question that is really important from here, and I think it goes to the question I was going to ask. This issue of surgery. There's a woman here, she says, I'm 50 years, but I'm afraid of surgery. Ask him if it's a major surgery and how long to recover, any likelihood of complications, because that's really the crux of it. There's nobody that listens to the issue of fibroid. They only please take it out, but they're afraid. This is Nigeria. Surgery, they're thinking to myself that I don't want to go and die under the knife. So is it a very difficult surgery to have, and how are the likelihood of complications?
What are the risks?
It's not very difficult surgery if you go to a very skilled and a very good doctor, LP hospital, and also explain the procedures to you.
What's the procedure?
There are also things you need to do. You need to also, it's myomectomy. So if the fibroid is if you're just taking out the fibroid itself, it's called myomectomy. There are different kinds of myomectomies. You can do an open myomectomy. You can do a laparoscopic myomectomy. Then you can do, now there's IFU. IFU is intrafetal ultrasound. So you could do ultrasound to take it out. But open myomectomy helps you take out every seed of the fibroid, everything.
That's you open up the tummy.
Yes, the
Speaking
tummy.
Normal English.
Yes, open up the tummy.
You
take it
cut
out.
the tummy.
You not tear. You cut, not tear. You don't tear.
Sorry.
You cut the tummy. So you give. So you pull it out.
Okay.
You expose the fibroid,
Okay.
uterus. You tie it with the tourniquet. Then you begin to take out the fibroid one after the other,
Okay.
and now refashion the womb
Okay.
to take a baby.
Okay.
So that sometimes, if you don't take out the fibroid, the person can have a baby because the whole space of where the baby should stay, fibroid is staying there.
Okay.
Myomectomy. And there are things you need to also do after the surgery. There are things you cannot eat, you cannot do. For example, I tell my patients 3 months after surgery, there are food you should not eat. You don't say because you like to eat eba. You can't start eating eba and everything like that. People like to do that. No.
After
the
it's
surgery.
possible.
Right now, we realize that there's from research, there are some meals that also aid the growth of the fibroid. Red meat, floury food like shawarma, meat pie meat, sodas, those things that aid the growth. So you just probably just change your lifestyle. A lot of vegetables, a lot of greens, lettuces, cabbages, cucumber, fresh food, tomatoes, onions, very nice.
Okay.
It helps aid the healing and it makes them very, very good.
Yeah.
So
But-
it's not a difficult surgery.
Okay.
It is the best thing to do for you because the complications of not taking it out can be worse for you.
Okay.
That's the
So
idea for me.
there are other
Surgery.
options you are supposed to talk about.
Yes,
So you've talked about
laparoscopy, yes. So laparoscopy for the very small ones, you go put it do
Keyhole
laparoscopy, keyhole surgery through the navel and just take out the fibroids. That's okay. Then if you are very old, you are menopausal, you don't need the womb anymore. You do a total hysterectomy.
Is there a laser?
That also helps you prevent other things that can happen in the future, cervical cancer, endometrial, CA, stuff like
Take
that.
out the whole
How
thing.
about, is there a laser option? I don't know why I
fibroid,
feel
no,
yes.
no, laser anything. Don't-
So as I'm 45 now, and I'm like, I'm done.
Auntie,
Keep quiet. Let me ask my own question.
Let her ask the question.
Mid-40s. There's a woman. Okay, let me not put myself. There's a woman watching now. She's in her mid-40s. She's like, I'm done having my kids.
Yes.
Can I just take the whole thing out?
That's it. Yes. You can't take it out.
I don't agree.
I don't want to agree with you,
Why?
sir,
No,
because
no,
there's a
no,
reason
calm
we have.
down.
Why don't you agree? Are
Calm
you the
down with
doctor?
it.
Doctor, show me how many women that have done it and they've lived wholesome life into their 80s.
Really?
Yeah, if I can see that
Loads of them.
I would
Loads
encourage
of
it.
them.
That's
Loads.
one.
It's less
I
organ
mean,
to do
no,
with.
it's possible. I feel that that's what makes me a woman.
Okay, so-
and it's something I was born with.
But you've had
there-
your children.
No. I think it has
Let me
much more
answer.
to do beyond having children.
Psychology, yes.
No, I
The
feel that
feeling.
there has to be like a balance of my hormones, and that
Yeah.
plays a role. As it diminishes,
Yes.
and I think that, that it's still important that it's there so that, it balances my hormones as I get
Till
older.
you-
If you take it out forcefully, I feel
Enough-
how the body will miss it.
Yeah.
The body will
Somebody
realize
has
that
answered your
something-
question.
Okay.
I'm not sure if she wants me to mention her name.
Mention.
Let me not mention her name. She said, in 2019, I had mine removed.
Okay.
And my uterus too, but my ovaries remained.
Yes.
So this makes me feel like a woman in the other room.
Yes.
Okay.
Doctors should educate women on the implications of some of
Difference
these things.
between ovaries
I will be
and-
55 years old in February 20th. So she's saying that
it's
she still feels like a
possible.
woman.
Never
She's
reach
still
80.
okay.
So let me tell you.
I think
let me
it's
tell you.
possible.
When a woman is 70,
Why are you
See,
saying 70?
it-
Let's do 50.
okay, 50. You think when you're menopausal, let me tell you when you're menopausal. When you're menopausal, you just feel in your mind that you have a womb. But it's not doing anything for you
Not
again.
doing anything.
It's just there like,
Expect I
They are not,
do you get?
but some people are not
Now,
menopausal at 50 now.
That's what I'm saying now.
never-
I
Sorry,
don't
let me
see-
ask
It's
you.
psychological, people. You're being very psychologically sentimental.
Exactly.
Because somebody here is telling me that.
So you can take out the womb and leave the ovary. If that's what you want, you don't feel like a woman. What
Leave
makes
the
you feel like a
ovaries.
woman is the ovary?
Ovary that she can't see. Can you see the ovary?
No, but there are things that is doing in my body,
why do
keeping
you
me
know
moist.
yes.
and
Miriam,
How about with your thyroid? Giving you the right hormones.
Miriam. That ovary again can still cause ovarian cancer. So you want to put it there because of ovarian cancer?
Take it out.
No,
Take it out.
no, I don't like the way you're demonizing the
I'm not
ovary.
demonizing.
Somebody says that.
He's saying it's a possibility.
Is that
For a young woman.
Let me
Hold on,
let Nima jump in here. Yeah.
I've seen a mammectomy complication for a young woman under 30 that resulted in the loss of her uterus.
Yes, it's possible.
So we know
So let me say why that can happen too.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes a lot of women have taken a lot of these herbal medicine. I can tell you for free that has caused a lot of additions and a lot of complications for their womb. They've taken somebody one day had taken a lot of herbal medicines and her vagina has closed. As in, they'll tell you that if you put something in your vagina, you swallow some, it has closed. There was no vagina again.
Whoa.
As in, it has.
Sealed it up.
We
need to
call
be
it vaginal
careful.
stenosis. Yes, it has closed.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, no, it's possible.
So it melted the
It
flesh.
melt, it's the things like they're very acidic, they're very rubbish acidic something that causes wound. So they just put it on the vagina and it will now heal by fibrosis. So when anything heals,
Sir, there are plenty questions coming in.
YK, I have question for you. YK say we should
help.
help her to ask if they remove the testes. Since men are no longer using it in their
yes,
own
they
age.
remove this, obviously. Remove this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Somebody says my mom did a
But your voice
surgery.
is sounding low when you're saying yes.
She wanted to sell all of us. We should just throw everything away.
Wait, let me tell you. So
Like
if you have benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or a prostrate CA, the first thing the doctor will advise you to do is take out your testes, hysterectomy.
Does this stop performance?
Does it prevent?
It obviously stops.
Does it
Oh,
prevent
really?
prostate?
So,
Does it prevent prostate?
And you think the
So
uterus
there's
is
Does
not
it
doing
prevent
something?
prostate?
Okay,
No,
sir.
it helps.
Somebody says
because
my
of-
mom did surgery and removed her womb because of fibroid, but the bleeding was too much. She has to. The bleeding continues after the surgery.
bleeding was too much before. That's
Okay,
actually
the bleeding was too much.
She has
Okay,
to-
That's actually-
Someone
yes,
says, Nima,
Okay, so
I have
I
a
have-
person who removed her womb to help her body cope with hormonal changes during menopause.
yes,
Is that
no.
possible?
Yes, no.
So,
And that was
excuse me, when
said-
you remove your womb, that means there's no more periods. You won't be having
Yes,
periods
yes,
anymore.
yes.
You won't be,
You won't be,
drinking,
yes.
nothing.
But just-
And then,
you just be
so
chilling.
There's this, there's somebody I
You'll be
know
chilling.
that
It's
only a man that will
that
call it
had
that.
chilling.
There's
Oh, I
one
love
I
that
know.
idea of just chilling. Just chilling. Life.
You're not buying parts
You
anymore.
will be
You know
buying
that.
pad, you will save costs.
Same cost. No.
Yes.
Only a man that will
Okay,
look
so
at
there's
that.
this so surgery you can't perform fibroid surgery at the same time have a baby. At the same time.
It's not
possible.
advisable because but sometimes when you want to deliver the baby, there might be a fibroid in front of you.
Okay.
Maybe when you open up the womb. Some women are lucky.
Sir,
They have the fibroid. When it was small, they got pregnant and maybe they're on bed rest till they deliver. You have to do a cesarean section for them, and the fibroid is just in front of you. So you might not take out everything, but the one that is on
My
the
own
way.
I have to go. We have to go.
Okay.
Time has
Time
come.
has
But
gone.
this lady said, please ask your doctor if he can tell his own wife to remove her womb after childbearing.
Definitely.
Okay,
That's
you
the
answered question. All right, that's the plan.
Yes.
Okay. That is all we can take on
thank
today's
you.
show. I mean, it's
Thank
quite
you.
interesting. I love the way we are different in these
Interesting,
conversations.
yes.
I really like it.
I've learned from Alaja. I said I can
I
massage
absolutely
people.
love it.
The massage room,
I
don't
massage
worry.
it out.
We know.
And
don't
it came
worry.
out like
if you have
onions.
someone that needs it to fix it.
That's all we can take on today's show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Right.